There is one big mistake that could cost you over $80,000 in Social Security benefits over your household lifetime. And this is only one of the mistakes that people make. In this video, I want to share with you how to avoid this biggest mistake. It's not that difficult. But before we get there, subscribe to our channel and hit the notifications bell so you're alerted to when we post new videos. So I'm going to chronicle for you what some of the biggest mistakes are, and we're going to focus on that one that can cost you $80,000. But I want to step back for a minute. And, I talk to a lot of people, clients in particular, who are very well educated in their particular fields. However, Social Security is an area that is very, very confusing. There's 567 different claiming strategies. So no matter how many years you went to school, no matter how well versed you are in your profession, you may not know everything you need to know about Social Security. Let me give you a particular story. Recently, I spoke with an attorney. Very well accomplished attorney, has been retired, however, for a number of years. And he came to me for a second opinion on his overall retirement planning. And he found out in the midst of the conversation that his spouse has been eligible for a spousal benefit based on his work record, yet he was unaware of that, and she has not been claiming that. He had been working with a previous advisor who just didn't guide him and make sure he was aware of this opportunity for more income. He had earned it, it was there, he wasn't getting it. And many advisors are not fully understanding all of the Social Security rules. And by the way, when you go to Social Security and talk to their personnel, they cannot provide for you by law advanced strategies for planning and increasing your income. They can just give you the facts as they see them right here, right now. That's why it's important to talk with somebody who's fully versed in Social Security, and also why we have 7 different calculators available for our clients. Now, let me share with you the results of a study that was done recently. It was a study done by United Income, and it claimed that 96% of retirees choose the wrong year to tap into Social Security. And most people are better off waiting until 70 to claim, whereas 43% of adults actually are better off claiming before 70. The big takeaway from the study? By claiming at the right time, more than half of retirees would see income in their 70s and 80s rise by more than 25%. So let me deal with a couple of other mistakes that people make before I get to the big one, okay? And the first mistake that people make, and almost a third of all people who are eligible for Social Security right away at age 62, take it. What they don't realize is they may get only 70% of what they're eligible for at full retirement age. You can take a look at our Social Security Basics video on our channel to understand this more. It may impact people to the tune of $200,000 to $250,000 of income that is left on the table for the household over their lifetime by making this mistake. The second mistake that I want to talk about is not understanding how to coordinate spousal benefits. And again, you can go to our channel and take a look at our video on spousal benefits so you can best understand how to maximize that income. By the way, if you take your Social Security at age 62, and let's assume your spouse is going to be taking their spousal benefit off of your work record, by taking a significant haircut, by taking your Social Security at age 62 versus waiting till age 67, your spousal benefit for your spouse is going to be reduced significantly because it's going to be staked at when you first started your benefits. If you waited till you were full retirement age, your spouse would get more money because you're getting more money. Also, if your spouse survives you and would be dependent upon survivorship income, their income, the surviving spouse's income, is going to be gauged against when you took your own strategy initially. If you take it at 62, that surviving spouse is going to get a lot less money. If you defer it all the way to 70 until you take it and then die sometime past then, your surviving spouse will get a lot more money. It all depends on what stage you're in, what financial considerations you have, what health considerations you have. This is why we have those 7 calculators. But it's important because these are 2 mistakes you need to avoid. And by the way, do you really know which strategy to take? And are you truly prepared to maximize your income in retirement? Take our quiz. It's 2 minutes. I'll get you a score immediately to help you understand what stage of retirement preparedness you are in. I'll also get you a free chapter of my new book, Don't Outlive Your Money in Retirement, 7 Key Steps, along with a couple of worksheets that will help to guide you and give you more clarity in terms of where you are, in terms of your preparedness for this next chapter of life. Now, I'm going to get to the big one in just a moment, but there's another one I find that most people don't understand and they're not aware of. Did you know that you could claim more than one strategy during your lifetime? You could claim your own work record. If that's not enough, you could claim, if you're a spouse, a spousal benefit. If you get divorced, you have a divorced benefit. If you are a surviving spouse, you can take a surviving benefit. And as life changes, you can actually make strategy changes along the way, but you can only make one claim at a time. Obviously, our recommendation is to make the claim that would get you the most money, but this again gets back to making sure you understand and do the calculations properly so you can make that strategy the best it is for you to maximize your income. Now we get to the biggest mistake, and I'm going to share with you how to avoid it. So this is the biggest mistake that could cost you over $80,000 in benefits over your household lifetime. And believe it or not, it's a very simple fix. The mistake is not checking your earnings history. Did you know that since inception of Social Security, it's been calculated that there is about $1.2 trillion of monies that were earned that could not be matched up to individuals' earnings records. And that has cost people tens of thousands of dollars over their lifetime. Now, most mistakes are employer-driven. They may not get your name properly. You may have changed your name as a result of a marriage or a divorce. So if something like that happens, you need to make sure that your employer is recording that with the Social Security Administration properly. So let's take a look at some of the numbers so you can understand how, by not checking your earnings record, could cost you over $80,000. So there was a study recently done, and it used the National Average Wage Index for the past 35 years. It used 5 different scenarios. First, if you missed the first year of earnings, the second, third, fourth, and fifth years. So it looked at missing earnings records from anywhere from 1 to 5 years worth of earnings. It used an inflation of only 2%, and it assumed that you received benefits for a period of 20 years. Now, if we go to the next slide, here is the cost of the mistake to the retiree. If that retiree missed 1 year of earnings, it could have cost that retiree upwards of $11,000. For 2 years, it was $20,000. For 3 years, it was $33,000. For 4 years, it was $44,000. And for 5 years, it was $55,000. But that's only half the story, because most of us are married, right? And we have to account for our spouse, our surviving spouse. So here's the rest of that story. So if you really calculate the cost of the mistake for both the spouse and the retiree combined, if you miss 1 year of earnings, it could be upwards of $17,000 of lost income. 2 years, $33,000. 3 years, $50,000. 4 years, $67,000. And if you missed 5 years of earnings, potentially you could have missed upwards of $83,000 of income that you deserved. So the biggest mistake, you can avoid it. Just check your earnings record annually, or if something has changed in life or your name has changed, something has happened that it could impact how they record what your work record is, go in and check it. And check out our playlist to make sure you're fully informed about Social Security.